I'm the owner-operator of Agora Auto Sounds in the city of Agora Hills, California. I've been at that location for 2 years. I opened up 2 years ago, last month, and we're killing it. We're doing big projects all the time, super busy. Been very blessed to be where we are today. My name is Jaime Palafox, and this is my submission for Top 50 Installers 2019. Over 20 years in this industry. I don't know exactly how many, but I've been doing this since the 90s. The 90s were an awesome time for audio. I think we had a big boom back then.
When I grab the broom, moonwalk, platoon hawk.
Say I'm only 19, but my mind is older. When the things get for real, my warm heart turns cold.
So I'ma get smart and get defensive and shit, and put together a million march for some gangster shit.
If you don't know, you fucking with lyrical player pros. Do like you really wanna party with me? Let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands with my eyes to see. And I'm nothing but a gangster party. Oh shit. You done fucked up, man. You done put two of America's most wanted in the same motherfucking place at the same motherfucking time.
It was awesome going to the stereo shops. I was just a kid. I was graduating from high school, and I used to hang out at all those stereo shops. And I offered myself to work for free just to get a job around car audio because I loved it so much.
Yeah. And that's realer than real deal Holyfield.
Like NyQuil, I drop fever. So either put your fiber, boy, you got to leave it like Beaver. Cause see ya.
It was a good time for audio just because there was so much good equipment out. And I think I was part of the guys that kept it going because we were super audio enthusiasts. So one of the first guys to influence me for, actually was for custom fabrication, was a guy named Chris Perquetta. It's one of those guys that had like 218s in his Nissan Sentra, would knock things off the wall, and he would build a lot of over-the-top installation. I mean, he would just build super crazy systems, and he was very creative. But when he made it, it was 10 times better than what he had drawn. And oh, is that a coyote? Check it out.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Wow, we're just running into all kinds of shit, huh? Lots of the installation is more about technique. It's no longer about the flashiest car or the biggest speaker box you could build. It's almost like incorporating all of these new techniques into the car that make it look like it's part of the car. Like the installation are now really stepping up their game, you know, just making things super serviceable. Where back in the days when we installed, you would just make it so it hold together, and it didn't matter whatever it took, you know, whatever you found at Home Depot is what you put into this installation, and it just had to stick together. But now I think everybody's kind of working on things to make it so if you want to reverse the process, put it back to original, you can. The main guy's actually responsible for us learning. One of the guys that still has his classes is Brian Schmidt. I think he's really set the bar high, especially having all the all-star fabricators and installers in the industry to help him with his teaching practices, which is awesome. Tom Miller, which I've met a bunch of times, good dude. JT Torres, Jeremy Carlson, Jamie Shu, Matt Schaefer, Chris Pate. These are previous Installer of the Year winners and super well deserved. These guys are awesome, and they post things online constantly. You can learn from these guys. They're all willing to help you, and that's what I do too. I always try to help people. They call me and say, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? I always give them whatever information. If somebody that really wants to learn, I will take time out of my day to help them out any which way I can.
It's dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from, that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter.
Yeah.
And to all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby.
Shake it.
It was all a dream.
Come on through. I'm going to give you a little tiny tour and then tell you a little bit about myself. Boom! So, this is our shop. It's kind of small, but it's always full of cars, so that's good. We put Olympics, we do suspension. Sometimes we run cameras, and it just makes sense to do it like under the car. For us, this is easy. Look, I can just put my hands up and I'm in a good spot. So anyway, this is our main work area. We've got a couple carts that we mainly work out of. We work on everything from Jeep. Anyway, this is our wood shop. It's a little messy right now. We have to clean up a little bit. Everything is built in here. This is where we really spend most of our time, even though we do have tools and everything. These are different kind of tools that we use for fabrication. And we do quite a bit of it. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. After 20 some odd years, this is what I love the best of my whole job. This is like an old project. Actually, this is an old school style kind of box. It's kind of a throwback. Like this era is gone, you know. But I'm gonna do a little bit, incorporate some new techniques in this thing, and then you'll see a pretty nice improvisation of an old technique. So we just have a couple projects on the wall. People come in, we like to show them exactly what it is we do. This is what we specialize in. So what you see is what you get. All of these pictures are real projects that were done with real customers, paying customers that came in here. None of it was sponsored, none of it was done for free. Everybody paid, and these customers are super stoked. They love it.
You know, you don't find too many guys out there that really take the time to put the effort in to really make sure that you're happy with what you got, and he's not happy unless the product is absolute tops.
He could do everything. He's done wiring. We've put springs in my Mustang, my 57 pickup. The door latches were bad and they were custom made, so we had to get stock door latches, and he had to make them almost start all over with these things. So he's very versatile, and he's very patient. I would take a sledgehammer to some of this stuff, and he just goes in there and nothing bothers him, and he gets it done. So he knows what he's doing. He's very talented, but more importantly, he knows how to speak to clients, to people, and he's just a good person.
These are my wrenches, you know. Everybody's got a bunch of wrenches. I love ratcheting wrenches. I think these are great. You guys don't have these, you guys have little bitty ones. So I love this stuff like this is my favorite. And then, you know, just screwdriver drawers. I have old stuff. I've been doing this over 20 years, so you can see some of my tools are just from that age. So this is what I love to do. There's nothing else I'd rather do than put a lot of hours in this, you know. So anyway, little projects. Just simple stuff. This is just a little enclosure we're making. Little legs of acrylic just for water or damage, you know, for moisture or whatever. So we'll build that all the way up. Customers giving us the freedom to build the floor up. So whenever they give us this much real estate and they say be creative, this is where we shine. So this will eventually have a picture up in the front of the shop. This is right here, I'm holding. And then we just made a drawer. Oh, I have to get the key. I don't have the key. But anyway, this is a drawer slider. Opens up. Made a couple of. I know it's made out of wood. Customer didn't have the budget, so it's easy to press down. Catch the lip. Now you have open doors. So it's just got little hinges, little push button magnets. Lock it down. Open it.
Yeah. And that's realer than real deal Holyfield.
Like NyQuil, I drop fever. So either put your fiber, or you got to leave it like Beaver. Cause see ya, Nicky Perfect.
One of my installation philosophies is to do things kind of above and beyond what the customer's expectations are. Really blow them out of the water.
I was just blown away. I mean, the custom box, the LED lights, a sound processor. I didn't even know they had sound processors. I mean, the whole thing, everything's integrated into my controls.
Like when they see their installation, I want them to hear it and I want them to see it and I want them to be blown away by what they purchased.
To be honest with you, I mean, what he did for me was far past any expectations I ever had. I mean, I'm kind of used to regular old installations, like, you know, little subwoofer box underneath the back and, you know, some mids and highs. And I was just blown away. I mean,
my philosophy is always to do it right. Do it one time. I don't like doing things twice. You'll never see me do the same thing twice. So the first time around, I'll try to do it the best way I can. And if I've learned new techniques or I've learned a new process to do something, I apply it every single time I can. My installation specialty would be custom fabrication and OEM integration.
The OEM integration is important to me because without it, I would have to have ripped out the whole entire system. And he went and got a special system, I think from New York, that's specifically designed for this truck and the Ford Sync 3 system, so that everything works as well, and it does. I mean, we can watch Netflix, we can stream, we can watch anything. I got installed Chromecast in there.
Custom fabrication, I love being creative. I love when the customer drops me their keys and says, hey, do your thing. The car talks to me and I apply some of that same DNA that I pull off of the vehicle. I put it right back into the installation. Try to make it look like it belongs in the car. In other words, if it's a very square car, I kind of stay away from the round shapes. It's the time where I get to be creative. It's like an artist has to draw. It's the same thing for me.
My 71 Ranchero, I wanted a third brake light, and he custom made something that fit in the back window that you can't even tell was made there. It looks perfect. I mean, this guy's talented. He's very, very talented.
One of the most challenging events I've had to overcome this year have been stepping back, letting somebody else do the jobs, do the work. And so I've been fortunate enough to have my two oldest boys, my sons, come in and learn from me. What's taken me 20 plus years to learn, I can now share this information with them. I can give back to the industry. I can create a couple more guys, and it's a great feeling to see them show up every morning and be enthusiastic about getting to work, getting the job done, knowing that we have a long list of cars and they're there to get the work done. And they're taking everything I'm telling them and they're like sponges. They're taking it all in and they're applying everything, all these techniques that we're learning. It's an amazing feeling to see them learning, see them grow. And it's going fast for them because it took me 20 years and they've learned in just a few months what took me years to learn. And it's great to see them growing. So my co-workers are my sons, and I'm sure that they would say it's challenging to work with a person like me because I have such high expectations of the work we want. I think they want to learn and they see how much desire I have. Although it is challenging, they try really, really hard, and I can see it, and I'm grateful for that, for them giving it an attempt. Now they're stoked because they come into work and we're doing leather interiors on cars, we're doing sound systems in other cars, we're doing suspension in other cars, and so they're learning about this industry, and I think they're starting to understand that it could be a fun job, because it is a fun job. It's difficult when you're first getting into it, but it's really fun to be around the cars, around people that want you to do to service their vehicle, something. Okay, so my coworkers would describe me as super hardworking, very enthused about what we do. I love this job. There's nothing else I'd rather do, and I think they see that. They see my passion for this industry.
Now I got to show you how the West Coast rocks. No ways of blaze in my mouth, just a
Living a fast life with fast cars. Everywhere we go, people know who we are.
I get mad wreck when wreck is the concept. Laying in the sunshine with only one nine.
Take 10 paces. Beware. No crew is fading us.
I hit many degrees at any angle. Throwing up the West, what's up? Who wanna tangle?
Alright.
I don't lie, I get high. Now,
Are you real party people? Throw your hands in the sky.
Where he at? What's up? I think we oughta check it for a second. DJ Rectangle's about to wreck it. DJ
Rectangle. Watch when I get loose.
You wanna battle? You must be crazy.
It's like damn.
Without Bruce Lee.
Sing it, daddy.
Ooh la la la. Fred won't Fred. Don't you even go there.
My style's the bomb, ding, 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 ding.